Lion King is actually a perfect comparison for just how insane the marketing was for Disney's Hunchback of Notre Dame. As I talked about in my last video, the advertising for Hunchback focused almost exclusively on the gargoyles, Quasimodo's crush on Esmeralda, and the Festival of Fools. Completely ignoring that the festival is only a few minutes long and ends like this, it was presented as a fun comedy using the tagline, "Join the party."
Look at that disgusting display.
Yes, sir.
And only really used the songs "A Guy Like You" and sometimes "The Bells of Notre Dame." If The Lion King had been advertised the same way, then the trailers would have only used Hakuna Matata and focused on the scenes where Simba is living with Timon and Pumbaa. Although even that would make more sense because it's actually a pretty big segment of the film as opposed to the Festival of Fools, and Timon and Pumbaa are significantly bigger and more fleshed out characters than the gargoyles. But that wasn't at all the direction of the marketing. The trailers actually advertised a lot of the heavier elements. The main song they used was "The Circle of Life." They showed the stampede and even dead Mufasa in the sky. They even had one of the hyenas literally threaten to kill Simba in the trailer.
If you ever come back, we'll kill ya!
And while I'm sure some of the marketing used Hakuna Matata at some point, the main big trailers that I found did not. Trailers present it as an artistically serious movie with maybe a single joke, but mostly focusing on the themes of self-discovery, betrayal, grief, and responsibility. As opposed to Hunchback, which was presented as a fun, lighthearted comedy where Quasimodo goes to a party, discovers the magic within, and finds love. And while I said in my last video that I'm sure Hunchback was advertised the way it was because of Disney's reputation, I actually find it way more surprising now having seen all of the Lion King advertising, because the really interesting part of comparing the marketing between these two films is how the Lion King famously overperformed at the box office from what was expected, while Hunchback of Notre Dame underperformed.
I'm losing to a
lion.
I put that in quotations because Hunchback didn't actually do poorly, it just didn't do nearly as well as Disney was expecting it to after the rest of the Renaissance films, and that's kind of its legacy now. In retrospect, it's hard not to imagine that it may have actually hurt more than it helped to treat this film as more jovial than it actually is. It really could have showcased how much of an artistic and musical masterpiece this film is by allowing the trailers to be just a bit darker. Especially after the massive success of the Lion King's marketing, you'd think that they'd treat this film with the same sense of seriousness. Of course, who knows what actually would have happened? Part of the logic behind this marketing seems to be a fear for the dark reputation of Victor Hugo's original Hunchback of Notre Dame. That's kind of why the gargoyles are there to begin with. But I definitely think the advertising went way too far in the opposite direction.
join the fun. Pour the wine and cut the cheese.